in this lesson, I want to address the fact that you can build a decent little database and work with it using Microsoft Excel. You may not have the need for a relational database that you would build in Access. Um, I would prefer, or I would recommend actually, that you would build a table in Excel. You have more features, more tools that you can use here rather than you would in, let's say, Word. Um, you can have a basic client list. You can have a list of employees. You can sort it here. You can filter it. So let's start. And you might actually want to do a mail merge with it down the road. So thinking of that, when you're setting up your database in Excel, I strongly recommend that you leave row number 1 to the labels only. Do not put a title in this because it's going to trip you up when you're trying to do things like a mail merge. So row 1 is for the titles that identify the contents of your labels. That's the first trap that you need to avoid. The second trap that you need to avoid is when you're doing your data entry, be careful. Don't put spaces after any of these things. A lot of times I see people make mistakes. They're so used to typing Mrs. Lisa Bachman that they put a space after the dot in Mrs. and after the A in Lisa. Avoid this as much as possible. So nice and clean. Use the uppercase letters where you need to and where you should. Put the spaces where they should be and no extra spaces afterwards. So this is laid out crisp and clean. Nothing extra, nothing fancy. Well, I mean, the first row is a little fancy in a sense it's got some formatting, but that won't hurt or alter anything. Now, once you've got this, you've got a ribbon called data, which is there for a reason. It's there because we can now use this as a database and perform all kinds of things with it. But we'll just cover some of the basic things that you'll be using in a database that you'd build in Excel. First of all, you can sort on any of these. You can sort on any of these columns here. So you select the column that you want to sort on, and you can then just ask to sort by that. And then you can sort in reverse way if you want. So now we're highest to lowest. And then we could go back this way. You can also sort on more than one level if you wanted to. So now if you had ties, let's say that we sort by city. Then we'd be able to say if there's a tie by the city, then sort by last name. So I'm going to ask to add a level. So we know there's going to be ties on Woodland. And then, so it'll first be Treeville because we're going A to Z. And now after that, it'll be Woodland. But we want the ties to be broken by last name after that. So we can then say now the second level will be last name. If you think of your phone book, that's how it's set up, right? It's set up first to sort by last name. And whenever the last names are the same, it then sorts by first name. So this is similar to what we're doing. So it's like a tie-breaking situation. So now we're going to go OK. So as I said, Treevilles come first. However, because there are several people in Treeville, well, there's two. Fairmont came first, and then McLeish. Same deal with Woodland, okay? So that's a multi-level sort, let's say. The next great thing that you can do here is you can filter out information. You can filter out in a lot of different ways. So I'm just going to click this filter button and watch what happens. We get a series of arrows here. Now, the arrows are allowing you to filter by any one of these fields. And here, a simple filter would be only show me the people in Woodland. And now it filtered out the people that do not live in Woodland. And here it's giving me a little blue arrow letting me know that there's a filter applied to this field. And when I want to remove it, I can just come here, or I can say clear filter, I believe would have worked as well. And now we're back to the entire list. But again, it's something a little more complicated. We're going to go with, let's say, the amount owing. Lots of great options built right in here. Okay, first, you can select exactly the amounts if you wanted to. I don't want to do that. I want to come here. You have all these available to you. So you can say equal to a certain amount. or not equal, greater than a certain amount. So if you only want to send a mail out, let's say to the people who owe you more than X amount of money, you could do that. You can ask for greater than or equal to. You can ask for less than. You can also ask for between here. Top 10, above average, below average. I'm going to come here and say greater than or equal to. And I like that I can move this because I can see my totals here. So let's say greater than or equal to 1,000. I'd also be able to type this if I wanted to. And I can say less than or equal to 2,000 or 5,000. So now I should only get the people between 1,000 and 5,000, and then I can hit OK. And that's exactly what I got. I can also, now that I have this filter applied, I can apply yet another filter on another field. So I can say, give me that range, but also only the people who live in Treeville. So here I would deselect Woodland. And now I've got a two-level filter. I'm filtered on amount owing as well as Treeville. And of course, the possibilities are somewhat endless. So those are the basic fundamental things that you can do with a database. You can sort and you can filter in so many ways. And then from there, if you wanted to, you can send out a mailing to the people who meet the criteria that you've set.